This show brought to you by Welcome to Inside Sim Racing. I'm Darin, and last year we reviewed the next level wheel stand and gave it some really high marks. And during that review we also mentioned that you could actually convert it into a full chassis by buying this chair. And basically that makes it the next level GTultimate. And now I'm here to review the entire package. So for starters, going to talk about where you can get it. There's distributors in Australia, Europe, and now in North America. And I'm going to give you the North American pricing. So the full GTultimate package is currently available for pre-order right now in North America while they're waiting for new stock to come in. I think they're saying March or April. And you get a significant discount if you pre-order it now. And it's going to go for, or going for, $787.55. So here's what's included in the full GTultimate Racing Simulator package. You get the seat and the frame. You get a 4-point racing harness, which I don't have attached because I honestly don't need it right now, but I'll get to why you may need it in a minute. There's 2 different gear shifter adapters, and they vary in angle based on your preference. One's a little bit taller than the other. Has Velcro cable ties to keep your setup neat. Comes with an adapter pole to attach your butt kicker if you have one, a Gamer 2 directly into your seat. I didn't use it because I don't have a Gamer 2, so I had no use for that. A pedal stopper to hold, in particular, Fanatic pedals. The other pedals can pretty much bolt right to the pedal deck. And then an instruction manual and all the tools required to assemble, including all the nuts and bolts and everything you need, and all the hardware to attach your wheel pedals and shifter. Now here's some additional accessories that you can get for the GTultimate. You can get a flight pack add-on for $78.72, a keyboard and mouse stand for $78.72, a CSR shifter adapter for $26.21, the gaming desktop, which is this right here, for $87.47, the GTultimate monitor stand, which I have hooked up, which basically attaches to the front of the wheel stand, and can hold a 55-inch single monitor or 3 27-inch monitors, and that goes for $148.72. And then the next level floor mat for $48.09. So if you're going to get the entire package without the pre-order price, by the way, it goes for about $875. So it's about $100 savings right now if you pre-order it. But for the entire package and all the stuff I have here, I did get the flight stand stuff, but I don't have a flight stick and throttle. It goes for $1238.06, and the shipping is free. If you started with the wheel stand, that goes for $275.61, and then the seat sells for $595.02 for a total of $870.63. So if you're considering getting the whole package and you want to save up for it, you may want to do that because you will save some money on getting the whole package, at least right now in the pre-order status. Otherwise, you can start with the wheel stand, which I think is a great option, and then upgrade to the Ultimate. So I mentioned the 4-point harness, and the reason for that is they also have a motion platform that's coming soon, and it's going to retail for just under $3,000. As a matter of fact, they have a pre-order special on that right now, where you can save $500 and get it for $24.99, and basically it attaches right below the seat, and it's just basically a seat mover, so the whole chassis is not moving, just the seat. So some stats or specs on this chassis. The frame is powder coated steel and weighs 48 kilograms. It's got adjustable wheel, pedal, and shifter position to suit children up to adults, and they say it fits 6'9" adults. I have to say it probably can fit somebody taller, and I'll get to that in a minute as well. The frame length is adjustable, and part of the reason why it fits up to 6'9" people. So you can have the frame shorter or longer based on your size. It has a fiberglass racing style seat that can accommodate up to a 42-inch waist. It has seat sliders and also reclines, which is pretty cool for this type of seat. This is the first seat like this GT style racing seat that I've seen that you can adjust. And then it also comes with an additional lumbar support pillow that I have right behind my back. I'll show you some close-ups of it here. It's compatible with all the major wheel brands and is pre-drilled for Fanatec, Logitech, and Thrustmaster sets. I have the TX, the Thrustmaster TX 458 Italia hooked up with a set of T3 PA pedals and a TH8A shifter, and installed perfectly. So that's everything that comes with it and some specs on it. Now it's time for my review, and first let's talk about the wheel deck. And stability is probably one of the most important aspects, especially at that wheel deck, when it comes to a sim racing chassis like this. And we gave the wheel stand high marks for its stability, and it may be even more stable now with the seat attached, which obviously I have disattached right now, or unattached, which is kind of a cool feature. 2 bolts and this thing separates, which makes for easy storage too for the wheel stand portion if you don't have the monitor attached to it, or the monitor stand, I should say. So back to the wheel deck. I also have the desktop accessory installed, and I honestly thought it was going to be too much for this stand. And you know, with the wheel and everything, I thought there was going to be lots of wobble, and sure, there's a little bit, like I just moved it and you can see some here. But I honestly thought with these speakers, I have some Logitech, just a 2.1 speaker set attached. I thought those speakers were going to go flying off, and they barely even moved. I didn't have any issues with those speakers moving. I have my remote for my TV sitting on there, and it didn't move. So there's a little bit of shake, but nothing to where there's so much wobble that it's affecting your driving, and so much wobble that you're toning down, you know, how you saw the wheel based on, you know, the fact that that deck is wobbling. It just doesn't move much, and it's a very stable system. And then as far as the adjustability goes, you can't tilt the wheel, so this is it as far as the rate goes, which I thought was perfect. I didn't have any issues with that. You can adjust the height of the stand. There's a bunch of different positions here on the deck that allows you to adjust how tall or short. I think I have it almost maxed out. There might be one more adjustment hole, but worked great for me. So now to the pedal deck. Pedal deck has a slight design flaw that I mentioned to Hess at Pagnian Imports in Australia, which, by the way, thank you, Hess, for sending me this setup, and thanks for your patience, by the way, for waiting on me to get this reviewed. But I'd mentioned that basically the pedal deck, as you're pushing on the brakes or even the throttle, the back end of it, closest to you, flops up. And I mentioned that to him the other night, and he said, oh, you know what, there's a guy that came up with a tweak for it, but we're also fixing that in future production runs. So if you're getting it in the future, that's not going to be an issue. But basically what this guy did was took the pedal stopper, which I didn't need because I have the Thrustmaster pedals installed directly hard mounted in, and you take the pedal stopper and you attach it to the bottom underneath, and I got some footage from the guy that did the fix on YouTube, and that pretty much solved it. So that was a flaw, and probably one of the only things wrong with it. There's a little bit of movement in the pedal deck, but not much. And then I also say that, and it's a con, and I'll get to it too in my cons, there's a little bit of flex in the middle to front section of the rig under super heavy braking. I mean, you have to be, honestly, I guess if you're running an ABS setup and you're going to full brake, you could get some flex, but that's the con, and it's not major. There's just slight flex. Next up, the seat and or position. The seat is a tad big. I mean, I am a bigger guy, so I guess I fit in it pretty good. And I honestly wasn't a fan of this. I had a seat like this a while back on a Rennsport cockpit that I had. And I wasn't a big fan of it because it kind of makes you hunch forward. And until I put the lumbar pillow in the proper place, I was kind of feeling that way. But also that, and due to the fact that you can adjust it, you've got the reclining adjustment here. It's actually very comfortable. The cushion in it's very comfortable. And then again with the added pillow, it makes for a really comfortable seat. So at first I didn't like it, but once I got it adjusted, I liked it a lot. And it provides a lot of comfort, especially for those marathon sessions that you may have that you need some comfort both under your butt and in your back. I guess the only thing that's missing is maybe it'd be nice to have another pillow here just so I could lean back. But honestly, when I'm racing, I'm not leaning back. I'm pretty much in this position anyway, so I like the way it was. Another thing as far as the seat and the adjustability, again, there's seat sliders, the recline, and you can stretch the frame 6 different positions. I have it in the middle position. For people, again, they say up to 6'9". I would have to say that I think somebody maybe up to 7 feet tall could fit in this thing because I'm close to 6'5", or probably with my shoes on 6'5". And I had it originally at the very furthest position. And I honestly was too far back, and it's got the seat slider so I can move the seat forward and back. I had the seat all the way forward and I was still too far back. So I put it back, I put it in the middle position, and now I've got the seat to where it's almost at the back position. But lots of adjustment. I mean, this rig can fit a wide variety of sized people. Tall, short, wide, thin, everything. Shifter mount comes with 2 shifter mounts, one that's a little taller than the other. I think the shifter mount, especially for somebody taller like me, and I've got it pushed all the way back as far as I can go, is almost a little too far. I would have liked a little more adjustability there, but it's stable, it does the job. It's not even really a con. I guess I could add it to my cons, but I would have liked to have been able to adjust it a little bit closer. Maybe I'm doing something wrong and it can be adjusted closer, but that's that. The keyboard tray, which is an option that they sent me. It's got articulating arms that move in 2 main directions. If you have it, you could have it to when you put it over, over your lap. If you're going to do some major typing. I don't know about for hardcore like first-person shooter gaming if it would be stable enough. I don't think it would be because you can't really like lean against it. But once I got it adjusted in place, when I had the bar extended out this way or out the furthest way, I had to keep my legs close to the seat. I couldn't stretch my legs out, which is kind of cool because it makes you sit in proper posture. Or you can have it tucked into where the bar comes like kind of over your lap, and you can adjust it up and down. But it's pretty cool. It definitely does the job. I don't really have any complaints about it. I took it off because actually my only complaint about it is it makes it kind of tough to get in and out of the rig when this thing's attached because it really tightens up the area right in here. And I got some footage of it. But I took it off because I was console racing, and you can just slide in and out when the keyboard tray is not attached. The monitor stand, again, capable up to 55-inch. I have a 42-inch. This is a Sharp TV LED. Very lightweight, man. New TVs are so lightweight. Worked very well. I am pleasantly surprised. As a matter of fact, I didn't originally have it attached. I had a separate monitor stand, and I've got some footage of it. I have a GoPro attached to the top of the set, and I have some footage of it with the separate stand and with the stand attached, so you can see there's a slight bit of wobble, but honestly, nothing that I noticed while I was driving. So pleasantly surprised at how stable this thing is. And I usually don't like monitors attached to the base of a rig, but this is an exception. I'm going to keep it like this. I like it a lot. My only other complaint is that the monitor tilts forward a little bit, so the top of it tilts at you a little bit, which it didn't bother me, and you can also adjust it up and down. I pretty much have the middle of the monitor right at eye level, and I loved it. Actually, the stand that I was using, the standalone stand or separate stand, wouldn't go as high as this, and my speakers were blocking the bottom of the screen. As soon as I put it on there, I was like, wow, I can see more of the screen, so it actually worked out really well. And I gotta say too, I have a monitor back there that's an older Vizio. That thing is a friggin' tank. It weighs a lot, probably 50 pounds or so. This thing weighs probably under 20. I don't know how that 50-pound TV would hold up on this stand. I got a feeling it may, man, I don't know. The thing's so heavy, it may make it kind of front heavy. I could see the whole rig kind of leaning forward because of it, but they don't make TVs like that anymore, at least that heavy. I think it looks really cool, especially with it all compact like this. When I got the monitor set up last night, my wife came and checked it out. She's like, "Well, that looks really cool." So it's a cool looking setup, especially with this seat. It is. My wife asked me, "Why are the big holes here?" And it's just because it's the style of racing seat. It would be kind of cool to mount some speakers right in there. You've got a surround sound system, but it's a cool looking setup. So let's get to the pros and cons and wrap this thing up. Pros: very stable, compatible with all the major wheels on the market, comes with all the hardware to mount your wheel, pedals, and shifter, and also comes with Velcro ties to route your cables. It's a modular setup where you can start with a wheel stand, and then that's adaptable to a full rig, and then also has a bunch of different accessories that you can get for it. Comes with 2 shifter mounts, one basically that comes with the wheel stand, so if you get the wheel stand, it comes with that, and then they send you the separate one when you get the seat. It's available worldwide. Another pro: you can break it down and then store the wheel stand portion. That is if you don't have the monitor stand attached. Fully adjustable seat with the extra lumbar cushion, so it's really comfortable, and again, lots of adjustment. Full chassis is adjustable for short, tall, pretty much any size person. You can convert it into a full flight simulator. And the final pro is that it's compatible with the soon-to-be released motion platform. That is, the seat portion of it is. So the cons, and I mentioned some of these already: the slight flex under heavy braking at the middle and the front of the chassis. The instructions for the monitor stand lacked some detail. I did end up figuring it out, but it did lack some detail. Another con: there's some rust in the interior of the metal, and I'm assuming it's from being in a shipping container coming from China. But if you look down like this tube right here where the keyboard tray goes, there's just some rust on the inside. Nothing you see on the outside, and it doesn't affect the chassis in my opinion, but if you're a stickler for stuff like that, that might be a big deal for you. And then the other con was the pedal deck flaw, which is fixable on older models if you have that pedal stopper and you don't need it. And again, in future models, it's going to be alleviated in production. So my final thoughts: I can imagine it's pretty tough for different manufacturers or companies that make these chassis to come up with a one-size-fits-all rig. And the Next Level GTultimate does a great job of getting pretty damn close. Considering how many different types of sized people can fit in this rig and use it, I think they've done a great job. Would I recommend it? Absolutely. I think this is a great rig, especially the fact that you can, it's modular and you can start with a wheel stand and then upgrade. For those of you guys that are just getting into sim racing or might not have the space, but might have the space down the road, or you're not sure if sim racing is something, a long-term hobby that you're going to get into, starting with the wheel stand and then working your way up is a great way to go. So, if you're interested in checking one out, I'm going to have links to all the different distributors here in the description of the show. And again, I'd like to thank Hess for hooking me up and for his patience. And I hope you enjoyed this review. If you want to see the most extensive list of sim racing chassis reviews on the planet, come to our website at isrtv.com. Check out all of our reviews of rigs, software, wheels, pedals, all types of different sim racing gear and goodies. Find it all at isrtv.com. We also have daily news that we post at the website and cross-post it at Facebook and Twitter. Subscribe to us here on YouTube. A thumbs up would be much appreciated. And that's going to wrap it up. For Inside Sim Racing, I'm Darin Ganji. I'll see you guys next time.